If you are watching this right now, there's a good chance your mind doesn't rest easily. You lie down at night, the room is silent, but your head is loud. Conversations replay, decisions rewind, questions appear that never asked permission. And slowly, you start believing something is wrong with you. People tell you to stop thinking so much. They say you're stressed. They say you worry too much. They say you should just relax. But what if I told you, the very thing you are trying to escape is the same thing that makes your mind different? Because psychology shows something most people never realize. Overthinking is not always a weakness. Sometimes it's a sign of high intelligence, and no one ever explains that to you. So you grow up thinking your mind is a problem, when in reality, it might be a powerful tool you were never taught how to use. Intelligent minds don't think in straight lines. They think in layers. They don't stop at what happened. They ask why it happened, what caused it, what it leads to, what it says about the future. A simple mind sees an event. A complex mind sees a chain reaction. That's where overthinking begins. Not from fear, not from weakness, but from awareness. Highly intelligent people notice things others don't. A pause in someone's voice, a shift in tone, a look that doesn't match the words. And once the brain notices, it doesn't let go. It starts connecting dots, building meaning, running simulations. What did they really mean? What if I chose differently? What happens next? This isn't chaos, this is prediction. The human brain evolved to survive by imagining danger before it arrived. Smart brains are just better at it. They don't wait for problems. They see them coming. But here's the cost no one talks about. When life becomes safe, the brain doesn't know how to stop. So it turns inward. It analyzes relationships, replays mistakes, questions identity, dissects emotions. That's when intelligence feels like a burden, not because it is one, but because it's being used without direction. Highly intelligent people question themselves more than others, not because they lack confidence, but because they understand how much they don't know. They don't trust easy answers, they don't accept surface-level truth. They ask, what if I'm wrong? What am I missing? Is there another explanation? This isn't insecurity. This is intellectual honesty. But honesty without boundaries can turn into self-doubt, and that's where people confuse intelligence with anxiety. Research consistently shows that people with higher cognitive ability tend to think more abstractly. They worry about things that don't have immediate answers. They reflect deeply on past choices. They imagine future outcomes in detail. Their mind travels forward and backward in time constantly. A less complex mind stays in the moment. A complex mind lives in possibilities, and possibilities are endless. That's why intelligent people often struggle with sleep, why silence feels heavy, why doing nothing feels exhausting. Their brain is never idle. But here's the part that matters most. Overthinking is not intelligence by default. Uncontrolled overthinking is not a gift. It's intelligence without direction. There's a difference between thinking deeply and being trapped in mental loops. When thinking leads to understanding, strategy, or learning, it's powerful. When thinking leads to paralysis, fear, and self-blame, it becomes destructive. The difference isn't how much you think. It's whether your thinking moves forward or circles endlessly. Many intelligent people get stuck because no one teaches them how to transition from thought to action. Their mind keeps analyzing, but action never comes. And without action, the brain feels unsafe, so it thinks more and more and more until the same intelligence that could build solutions starts building anxiety. Society doesn't understand this. The world rewards loud confidence, fast decisions, simple answers. But intelligence is often quiet. It hesitates. It reflects. It sees consequences before celebration. That's why intelligent people are often misunderstood. They're called slow, overly sensitive, too serious, too much. But depth always looks like heaviness from the outside. Many of the world's thinkers, innovators, and strategists were overthinkers, not because they were afraid, but because they saw further. They learned something critical, though. They learned that the goal is not to silence the mind. The goal is to guide it. When you give your mind structure, overthinking becomes strategy. When you write your thoughts down, they stop fighting for attention. When you take action, even imperfect action, the brain calms down because action tells the mind, we are moving, we are not stuck. The truth is, your brain is not broken. It's powerful, but power without control feels dangerous. Overthinking doesn't mean you're weak. It means you perceive more than most people. But perception without boundaries becomes suffering. The real skill is not thinking less. It's knowing when to stop. Not every thought deserves attention. Not every possibility deserves fear. Once you understand that, your intelligence stops hurting you and starts working for you. So if your mind feels heavy, if your thoughts feel endless, If you've ever felt tired just from thinking, you're not alone, and you're not defective. You just have a deep mind living in a shallow world. Learn to direct it, and it will take you further than you ever imagined.